Kathy Wood gives an explanation of how inflation is higher than expected and how this affects everyone overall economically. She says that the economy is getting back towards normal, not normal yet to be sure, but it does seem that the close races, which will take place next November, not this November, but the following November, are already starting to weigh on decision making in terms of fiscal policy, both spending and taxes. The bottom line is spending will likely not be as high as President Biden's proposals and taxes. Surprisingly, we think are starting to move back into capital friendly stance. So that's very interesting. These are the 10 swing states for the Democrats. Those are the results. And it does seem as though the talk around spending is starting to sound like a little bit like there may be something more bipartisan than otherwise might have been the case. And does seem like the tax talk is now more around corporate taxes, but not corporate taxes going up, tax rates going up from 21 to 28%. But now this minimum corporate tax at 15%. Every corporation who has not been paying taxes pays at least 15%. That seems to be the direction in collaboration with the European Union or the G7. So that's very interesting. This means we may not see a capital gains tax rate increase, which would be phenomenal. The market is starting to respond to this, not a corporate tax increase, certainly not to 28%, maybe a few percentage points, but even that seems to be diminishing in probability. So as per Kathy, on the fiscal policy side of the equation, relative to our fears, certainly about capital unfriendly policies and certainly policies unfriendly to innovation, we are beginning to feel a lot better. Now if we go to the broader report, which is the consumption report that's in the GDP accounts, if we look at April, what happened to personal consumption expenditure and adjusting them for inflation to highlight this point about unit volumes. If you look at the real consumption in April, it was down slightly. But if you look at the consumption of the real goods in April, it went down 1.3%. Now this makes sense because if you look at the past year, real good consumption increased 74%. Think about that. In the last year, the consumption of durable has increased by 74%. So now that the consumer is filled up on durables and non-durable goods as well, the spending towards services has begun. We did see services consumption up 0.6% that month. The reason the market is on edge about inflation is some of the indicators are coming through much higher than expected. Now there are two reasons we have been talking about this. Probably for the last 6 months, the base effect last year. At this time in the futures market, energy prices had just finished going through a negative session, which of course is not possible in the spot market. But that gives us a sense of how much pressure there was on the prices at this time last year. So Kathy says that there could be some impact from China. But one other indicator very important to us is beginning to confirm that this might be a little bit more real than the skeptics would suggest. The treasury bond yield has dropped from 1.7%. This is the 10-year treasury bond. So 1.75% to 1.55%. And today we got the wages higher than expected. We have seen inflation indicators higher than expected, and yet the bond yield is going down. This reminds us of 2006. The bond market got that one right as well. Energy prices soared from 2006. They were $60 all the way to $140 in the spring, even though the writing about housing was on the wall. Maybe it was not on the wall in 2006. But that's when the bond market began to see it. Even with the shocks we have been through during this first half of the year, interest rates are doubling. The 10-year government bond yield is doubling in 3 months. That's never happened before. We got through that and the market was up at the end of the first quarter. Now bond yields are coming down. That's very market friendly. We also heard fears around ARKO OS, the domino effect associated with leverage. That did not happen. We had the fears of capital gains tax rates nearly doubling introduced into the equation in the second quarter, and still the market continues to move forward. We believe the bull market is alive and well, and it is broadening towards value and cyclical sectors, or maybe it has broadened. This has happened, and we thought it would hurt innovation oriented strategies. It has done that as well. Now, if we are right, then these cyclical sectors are settling up for a fay, and that should accrue to the benefit of innovation. When we get into recovery, the early stages of a recovery are when the cyclicals see a burst in revenues and earnings, and they give more growth oriented innovation oriented stocks run for their money. These growth rates are competitive. They are not sustainable, but at least they are competitive in the short term, and very much of the market is short term oriented. Kathy says that our investment time horizon is not 1 quarter or 1 year, it is 5 years. So, our innovation based strategies are suggesting that the returns available or likely can't promise anything here to innovation based strategies have increased. Our price target has not changed, the prices have come down short term, concludes Kathy. So guys, I would like to know your thoughts about Kathy's views around all this scenario, and what do you think about inflation. Also, if you want more such amazing videos, then please appreciate my efforts by liking this video, share it with your financial friends, and subscribe to this best channel on the YouTube. I'll catch you in my next amazing video. Till then, have fun.